get lots of people to tell you what they're thinking about
like
2020.
get like insights from people who understand from behind the scenes about how you see the industry and where it's heading.
Mine's easy. Trinity Audio is going to be number one.
That's so true. That's mine too.
No, that's great. I think that's a really good topic. Are you recording right now? You are. You're
set.
Okay. So 2020, my vision for 2020 in voice.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because there's so much happening. Like there's so many different ways you can go with it. I think one, like at a very sort of basic level, is that I think voice and more people are going to start to realize that it's a new operating system. So as we've gone from, if we really want to go way back, MS-DOS, which was just an operating system with typing, to a graphical user interface with Windows, to touchscreen, to mobile, and then to the most seamless operating system is going to be voice. And now, at least in the United States, I think the last stat that I saw was that about 50% of homes have access. No, am I saying that right? I hope I'm not quoting that wrong. There's a big percentage of homes have access to a smart speaker right now in the US.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I'm not sure if it's 50% or not. Anyway,
I think it's even more.
It may be even more. So the point is a lot of people have access to it, and more people are talking to computers, talking to their voice assistants, and so voice is going to become the next operating system. It's innate, that's how we talk, it's efficient, it's the most quickest way to communicate, you can multitask. The thing that I have started to realize as I started to think about this is that there's different ways of communicating. There's nonverbal communication, which is just like reading each other's facial expressions, that sort of thing. There is written communication, of course, which is you have to read it. And then when you compare that to verbal communication, when we talk about voice, it's the only form of communication where you don't actually have to be looking or focusing your attention on something. Nonverbal communication, I have to be looking at your face. Written communication, I obviously have to be looking at a written word. Verbal communication or voice technology, I can be doing anything and I can still use the technology.
And yet it's the most authentic.
Absolutely, and that's another really, really important part of it, is it's extremely authentic and contextual because you can hear the emotion in my voice. And like if my son comes home and he says to me, and I said, like, how was your day? And he goes, it was great, right? I know it wasn't great. And you can't do that.
You can't fake your voice. I mean, you can, but you don't want to be friends with people who can fake their voice. They're the sociopaths.
It's true. So you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. Voice is the authentic way that you can communicate with someone. So I just think that voice is actually becoming the next operating system, and then we're going to be seeing people leverage that technology with all the new technologies. So Trinity being built on voice as the operating system. I think that's where we're going.
What about marketing-wise? Because I'm not sure how aware you are of yourself being actually ahead of the curve there.
So, absolutely. I think marketing is going to be leveraging voice to a huge degree because, again, the world is transitioning to a voice-first world. It's not voice only, but voice-first world. So as we, as consumers, start to engage with technology through voice, naturally there are going to be ways that marketers are going to be looking at getting out their message. And so I think this is what you're referring to. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm looking at how you can use Alexa Flash briefings as a way to market. And I'm actually, when you're talking this, I believe so much in flash briefings because it's almost like the new way of podcasting, the new social media, the new whatever. If somebody felt they missed the boat on something, this is so early, and yet it is so authentic, as you said, and it's very easy to do, and it's a way that somebody can now get a message out to an audience, regardless if you're a brand, if you're a company, if you're a nonprofit, if you just have a hobby, you want to share your passion. This is a way that you can get into that person's routine on a daily basis and talk to them. And then the question becomes, well, how does a company or how does a marketer leverage that? Because I think there are good ways and there are not so good ways of doing it. If you're going to, invade that very intimate personal time with a long ad, I don't think that's a good way of doing it. It's going to take away from the experience and people are going to stop listening to that. However, if you can be creative and find interesting ways to leverage the technology, then I think that's a different story. And what I've tried to do and experimented with, and I think it's shown that it's worked very well, is actually creating a game for people to play and having the opportunity for companies to come in and support that experience and to sponsor that, as Trinity Audio is doing. And so for me personally, they're playing a flash briefing game. They listen to the flash briefing. I give them content. They try to solve a little puzzle or clue. Obviously, I mean, there's this is just the beginning. So there's lots of creative ways you can do this.
Yes.
But they solve a clue, and then they listen to, and then they play with an Alexa skill. They give the answer. If they got the answer right, they get a little piece of the puzzle, and they put it all together, and they can win prizes. And it's not direct advertising in the sense that it's not a company out there, giving their one-liner. It's an engaged consumer that wants to play this game, and by playing it, they're getting exposure to the company, which it's a win-win for everybody then.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to continue to experiment with that. I've seen incredible results. I've seen my exposure on Twitter. My Twitter impressions went up over 2,100% the last time I did that.
Wow.
And my Alexa enablement of the flash briefing doubled. I had 20% increase in the number of times it was listened to on a daily basis. Like the results were pretty incredible. It blew me away. I wasn't expecting that. And so I think there's a lot there. There's a lot more to experiment with, and I'm really excited about that.
I love it. Thank you so much.
So you're welcome. Thanks for having me.